Hello, my name is Taylor Kyle, and this is Elite Magic Academy, the ultimate resource for learning magic. Now, today we're actually looking at the bottom deal. This is one of the most historically significant moves in magic because it's been used by all of the experts in magic history at some point. Now, it's in fact referenced in Expert at the Card Table by S.W. Erdnase. Now, this is a cool book, and the interesting thing is that no one really knows who the author was. In fact, many people have tried to figure it out, and they have some idea of who it could possibly be, but there's not yet enough evidence to really be sure, which is why it's been shrouded in mystery. Now, the cool thing is that this move hails directly from techniques used in card cheating over 100 years ago, and people still use it today if they were trying to cheat. Of course, people don't do it as much as they used to. After all, it is quite a dangerous game to play. Anyways, let's take a look at this famous move and learn how to do it. All right, so when you're learning this, it's good to start off with a little bit less cards. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it really depends on the size of your hands. If you have big hands, it probably won't really matter too much, but if your hands are a little bit smaller, then I would recommend taking off a few cards and doing with a smaller pack of cards when you're starting. It just makes it a little bit easier. So you want to start, of course, with the 4 aces on the bottom, and the next step is to practice the way that you're going to hold the cards. Now, you can hold it 2 ways. I have done it both ways. Sometimes I have held it between the pointer finger or the middle finger, which I think is a little bit easier. But you can use the pointer finger if you want. That was a bottom deal there. Here's another bottom deal like that. And that's the way that I usually do it, but it is a little bit harder with a full deck, which is why when I do a full deck, I use the other method because my finger can't quite reach the way I want it to. So let's actually talk about how this works. So basically what's going to be happening is you're trying to hold the bottom part of the pack tightly. But notice how some of the cards on the top kind of are loose. That's how I like to do it. Have them a little bit loose. And I don't work on the thumb motion too much. I mostly keep my thumb still and pull these cards out from underneath. The reason why is it increases the sound, and when you do the actual move, your thumb doesn't really have to move, so it eliminates suspicious activity that you'd have to do otherwise, trying to move back and forth. If you mess up with the thumb motion, that can throw it off. So personally, that's why I like to do it that way. But what happens is underneath one of your fingers, generally the ring finger, is going to come over and move out one card and slide it up a little bit. Now, when it's here, you can't see it from the front and you can't see it from the back, which is really important. And what happens is I like to do this 2 or 3 cards before I actually do the bottom deal. So if I'm dealing into piles, I like to do it 2 piles before I get to the deal. So I come over here, I have it already out, and then I deal another one, and then when I get to the actual pile, I come underneath with the ring finger from the other hand, I touch that card, and I release the other fingers, all right? And I pull that card from the bottom and set it here. Now, there are 2 important things you need to realize. While you're pulling this card from the bottom, you want to use the pointer finger, all right, and the middle finger to cover the front of the deck. This obscures it from the audience's view, and you want to do this even when you're not doing the bottom deal, right? Just kind of do this motion, because then when you get to doing the bottom deal, you obscure it completely from their view, and it isn't suspicious because people see the back long enough and they see the thumb going there that they feel like it's a natural motion, and they're not going to really think about it. They will swear that they've seen you take the card from the top, but in reality you've hid it from their view and you've just taken the card from the bottom. Boom, like that. Now, the way that you can actually get that card from the bottom out is very specific. You see, if you just push evenly with the pointer finger or the middle finger, if you're holding the middle finger against the front of the pack here, you want to push more towards the top of the finger, right? Notice how the top of the finger doesn't come to the top of the deck, right? But it does have more pressure on top. And the reason why is because you want to hold the cards above the bottom card as you move it out. And the problem is if you put equal pressure with the whole pad of your finger and not at the very tip of it, then you're putting pressure on the bottom card and it pushes it into your hand and makes it much harder to remove it. And that can be a serious problem, because I'll give you a demonstration. If I'm pressing on the bottom and I try to remove it, I may not be able to, and I might take some of the other cards with them as I pull it out. See how it came off of the finger? And you don't want that to happen. So keep in mind, the pressure needs to be kind of in. See how the finger comes in and bows those cards? That way, these cards up here above the bottom card will stay in place when you use the ring finger to remove it. Now you have a little bit of extra cards on top pressed out, and this hides what's going on underneath so that you can remove that card. And there you go, you have the bottom deal. Now, like I said, once you kind of get the mechanics down, work on timing. Can you do the bottom deal equally every single time? That's really the question. So example, if I'm coming here and here and I'm here, you know, is the timing equal? You want it to be roughly equal. Other important things is sometimes, like that time I waited until the last second to do the move. The reason why it's important to do it early, right? If I'm coming in and I pull it out early and have it ready, is because then the timing is much easier to get down. I come along here, I'm here, timing's very easy. You don't have to think about anything when you get to the card. So keep that in mind. Now, the other last thing you have to think about is the sound. I already mentioned that, but just keep in mind, you want to pull the cards off in such a way that it ends up sounding the same every single time. Anyways, that is the bottom deal. Hopefully you'll be able to practice it and get it down. There are moves that are much more difficult, but it is definitely an advanced move. So keep that in mind. If you liked this episode, then please smash that like button, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. I want to thank you for being here, and I want you to know that if you like this material and you'd like to learn more, you can check out the Elite Magic Academy website. There are all sorts of tutorials there, along with awesome merch that you can buy to support this channel, and it can help you out in whatever you want to do with magic, so I recommend checking it out. Anyways, besides all of that, I'd like to let you know that if you really like this channel and you want to help support this channel directly, you can do so by joining the Patreon down below. By doing so, your name will be at the end of some of the videos, depending on which tier you choose, and you can also get all sorts of extra material that isn't here as well. I want to thank you for your time, and I'll see you again soon.